Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Also available on Anchor for the audio versions of the shows. This is your Carabao Cup final preview. Tottenham Hotspur versus Man City. And joining me today, Fergal, avid Tottenham Hotspur fan. The first time in a long time the chance of silverware. Surely you must be pumped for this one.
No.
No.
I got to sit down and have a few beers and watch it, but am I hopeful? No.
So the champagne's on ice, is it? At the Champagne Lane, is it? It's not. You're not feeling confident at all. No?
I didn't even get any. I'll get cheap cider or something.
Sure, listen. Celebrate one way or another, you know what I mean? Sure, listen, getting to a final is fantastic as well, you know?
There, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
What did
I
we say?
I remember a few months ago I said our best chance of silverware would be the Europa League.
You did? Yeah. Now your best chance of silverware is winning and getting back into the Europa League.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Well, listen, don't they say it's not the winning, it's the taking part?
It's just as well you're on that side of the screen.
No, yeah, absolutely. Let's take in a little bit of team news at the moment. Obviously, talk is Aguero and De Bruyne will be back, which is not good news potentially for Spurs fans. Obviously they're sweating over John Stones is suspended. Picked up a red card there during the week against Aston Villa, so he's out of the final. Big loss as well, John Stones. Been absolutely fabulous for them this year.
Him and Diaz been good in the centre half.
Absolutely fantastic, yeah. For Tottenham, obviously, late fitness test for Harry Kane on the ankle. But the chances are, strap it up and give me a pain injection. He has to play, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Has to play.
Because Son has no use without him. Son showed the other night. I know he scored a goal, but he's no use without Kane.
Yeah, we've spoken a number of times about the bonding and the understanding of those two guys. They've been playing together for years now at this stage. They know each other's movements and all, and it's absolutely key to Spurs' success. Ben Davies obviously is out with an ankle problem.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, and Joe Rodon is cup-tied, so he can't play.
Great. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, darn it.
So see, I'm bringing you all the good news here, you know?
Yeah, fair play, Noel.
Let's have a chat about the managers. Obviously, we know the pedigree of Pep Guardiola. He's taken charge of his 694th senior game as a manager. He's 13 of his previous 14 finals he's won. And he's only conceded 5 goals in those 14 finals. Absolutely exceptional record. Well, no, it's coming. Don't worry. Yeah. But this is a trophy, when we talk about respect and the romance of these cups and stuff like that, this being the Carabao Cup, the third trophy, if you like, in terms of the Premier League. Guardiola holds this trophy in high respect. He always plays really, really strong teams in it, and he doesn't tend to disrespect it in any way, whereas my own manager, Jurgen Klopp, really sort of puts out the kids for this. He doesn't really take this one very serious at all. But Guardiola likes this tournament. He likes this trophy. So up against him, obviously, thrown in at the deep end with the news that Jose Mourinho was sacked is Ryan Mason, who comes in to take his second game in charge. But this, one against the other, you would think there's no comparison, is there? This is the Rocky story. This is the Ivan Drago, Rocky Balboa story, really, isn't it? Massive chance for Ryan Mason to create a bit of history here, isn't there? What an opportunity. If he loses, it's kind of like, well, it was kind of expected. But if he wins, imagine the outpour from that, like if he was to seal it, you know what I mean? What you thinking?
Oh God!
Come on, give me something here. Positive.
If Spurs win, the only thing that worries me there, if Spurs win, is that Ryan Mason might be in with a shout and keep the manager's job, and I don't want that. Not a chance in hell. do I want Ryan Mason in charge of Spurs? Not a good enough. He's no pedigree to prove that he's good enough for Spurs manager. Yes, he's probably a Spurs through and through, but no. When it comes to, if he wins, great. You get a pat in the back, and it'll be because of his backroom team like Ledley King and all that he win. Because they're the lads who know. They're the lads who'll get the respect in the dressing room. Ryan Mason won't, as I said, he won't get respect there.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan's in the running. I really don't think he's in the running either way. You know what I mean? I mean, we have to see it on the face of what it is. I know for Spurs it's huge, and it'd be silverware. That thing that like Spurs fans and the club have craved for so long now. You know what I mean? To get that monkey off your back, if you like, that you've won a bit of silverware. The boys have picked up a medal. They finally realised something for their hard work. But I don't think that would catapult Ryan, into that Sarri level or Nagelsmann level, or, I just don't think that would happen. It would take a lot more than that. I know Spurs will probably even sort out a parade and everything if they win this. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah. A parade around the stadium. Yeah, great.
It's well, I mean, you'll be able to put the trophy cabinet in at last in the new stadium.
Because it'd be a miracle. It'd be a miracle.
It's safe to say we can expect goals, yeah? In the last 6 meetings of both teams, there's been 19 goals. So you're averaging over.
Probably 18 scored by City.
Jeez. I don't think it's that. I think in the last 4 or 5 fixtures, you have held your own, in fairness. Hasn't
we lost 3-1 to them. And we what was it? 3-1. Did we beat them at the start of the season? Yeah, we beat them at the start of the season.
You did.
They beat them 3-1.
And then you've had a 2-2 draw. And then I think if I'm not mistaken, I think you had another win as well.
Really?
So I'm nearly sure. If you go back over the last 5 or 6 meetings, So it's safe to say, like, I mean, you're averaging, over 3 goals a game at the moment, So it's safe to say there's going to be goals in this tomorrow, especially with if you look at the strength of both front lines. And you look at the kind of the certain weaknesses that are there potentially in the Spurs back line. I mean, how do you see that sort of rolling out? I mean, would you be concerned about Lloris at all? I mean, he's looked a little bit iffy recently.
I think in some of the matches he's looked a bit better than what he did now. I think in certain games he's looked a bit better. The only thing I have to say about Lloris, he's not quick enough off his line to claim a ball. He's not quick enough off. And at the start, when Pochettino was there, if you remember rightly, he was more playing a sweeper role. He's not doing that. He's told to stay back on his line, which is ridiculous.
Well, he also has like 4 lads standing in front of him as well that are quite fluid. So there's not that understanding there as well. As you said, I mean, they constantly change the structure of that back line nearly every game, if you like. So it's hard to get that understanding with a goalkeeper as well if there's that much change, let's say, game by game,
let's be honest, your confidence won't build if you have a back four that's leaking goals the way they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a keeper, you know yourself, your own young lad's a keeper. If he had a back four in front of him that were a bit iffy, his confidence will go. Like, you said, your confidence goes as a keeper if you haven't got that back four. You have to have confidence in your back four. And let's be honest, Spurs can't afford to have confidence in their back four.
Yeah. Where'd you see? I mean, if you're thinking, if Spurs have a chance of winning it, and obviously they do, where do you see it coming from? Is it the Son Kane combination? Do you see Kane dropping deep and doing that role that he kind of been doing for Mourinho, where he was nearly floating around in like a number 9, nearly like a Bobby Firmino type role?
I think it'd be more like that, and Son will make the run, and Kane will have come back in his own half, ping a long ball to him, and get in behind the defence. I think they might get it there. I'm quietly confident that Bale will turn it on tomorrow. I maybe I'm being foolish, but I just think he's going to turn it on. He's going to bang a beauty into the net if we do win it.
Yeah,
that's a big if. That's a big if.
It really would be a fairy tale, wouldn't it, if Bale was to snag the winner, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe a free kick or something like that. Something really sort of. And again, if you look at City's back line, I mean, City nearly have two back lines. You look at Ruben Diaz has come in, he's 23 years of age, I think. Absolutely outstanding for the position he plays. To have that maturity at 23 is incredible. Yeah, and then Laporte there as well. Even though they've lost John Stones, they have Laporte to come in there. You know, a man that you would know well, Kyle Walker's there. You know, Fernandinho in the middle of the park, so strong in there with Rodri and Bernardo Silva. And, you know, they've absolutely brilliant players. But then likewise, if you look at Spurs, I mean, your man Højlberg, who's come in, has been really, really good at times.
He's been a bit iffy the last few games, don't know. The last few games, he's not been great, Højlberg. He's put a few dodgy passes in and everything else. It's just, he hasn't been great now. I have to say, Ndombele has been outstanding.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Dembele before Dembele left Spurs. The ball just seems to stick to his foot. He just doesn't. He has this ability, just that ball doesn't move from his foot. He just has the ability to go by players, and he makes the obvious. He makes it so obvious what way he's going, but he still manages to get there.
But that strength and aggression of your man Højlberg would be critical in the middle of the park, wouldn't it? Against the likes of a Fernandinho or a Rodri or something like that, because those guys can really overthrow you there in midfield and really put you to the sword, you know. And then I mean we don't have to even talk about Gundogan. I mean the season that he's had, he's been absolutely outstanding. This has been his real breakout season, hasn't it? Like he just absolutely, he's been one of their best players. And then, you know, do we even talk about up front Kevin De Bruyne and players like that and all? You know, they're absolutely.
But there you go, Gundogan, whatever name it is. But he's took his opportunity while Aguero was out injured. He's really took the bull by the horns, as they say.
Yeah,
he's really cemented. It's like, you can't drop me now. I've been outstanding. You know, he's just done that, and not a lot of players do that. When they get their opportunity, they don't take it. You know what I mean? He did. He took it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy when you look at Man City this season, isn't it? Like, I mean, they've barely even played with a striker, and they've just been outstanding. Like, you know, just the consistency of week in, week out, just getting the job done every week. Is a measure of how good they are. I suppose when we talk about Bale potentially and the romance of him potentially scoring the winner or a free kick to win the cup for Spurs, you know, I mean, I suppose we have to look at Aguero as well. He's already resigned to the fact that he's leaving City. I mean, this could be the stage for him as well, really, as a kind of a send-off, couldn't it? And
there's rumors he could come to Spurs next year.
Yeah, not if he scores the winner. I don't think it'd be welcome if he costs you the cup. Somehow, well, maybe he would, but I don't know. You know,
he's always a player. I dread seeing him on the pitch because he's a player who could sneak up and score a winner like that. He's brilliant. As well.
Yeah, and he's lethal in that 18-yard box. He's absolutely lethal on his day. You know what I mean? And him against the likes of a Dyer, or him against the likes of those players, like
you skin him.
Yeah,
you skin him. There's no doubt there.
Absolutely. In terms of predictions, give me a prediction.
Honestly, I think I'm going to be straight up. I think City are going to beat us 4-0.
You actually think you're going to get done big time?
Lopped off. I really do. Well, there's nothing to be hopeful. No, there's nothing to be hopeful about. Like, let's be straight up. Who's going to have most possession of the ball? City are. They're a great team for passing around the ball and keeping possession. Spurs used to be like that under Poch, but they've gone backwards.
I suppose the only thing we could say this season, though, is if you look at this season in totality, a lot of the teams out there that have had huge amounts of possession haven't necessarily gone on to win games or haven't necessarily gone on to be successful. You know what I mean? When you look at teams there, like you look at Arsenal when they're playing, normally have a lot of possession, have struggled this year. Chelsea always have huge possession. Again, okay, they're breaking into the top four and stuff like that, but they've done well. You look at West Ham, who normally don't have a lot of possession, who would give up a lot of possession, but yet are able to just play that counter-attack, quick sort of break football with Mikel Antonio. So possession is normally not generally a key to success. But I suppose from your point of view, if you had a solid back four, you might be a bit more confident.
Exactly. Like you can't afford to stand off the likes of De Bruyne or any of them. You have to be on his. As soon as the ball hits his feet, you have to be hitting him. You can't give him any space. That lad will score from. That lad will have shots from any angle.
Yeah.
He's like De Bruyne is out, and as I say, Gundogan, he's outstanding at the moment as well. Can't give him any time either.
Yeah.
They have to be on their back as soon as they get the ball.
Yeah, they really are that team where they share the goals around. I mean, anyone from, I mean, even Diaz has chipped in this year with a number of headed goals and stuff like that. So they score goals from all over the park. I'm gonna put a prediction out there, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Spurs on penalties, and I'm gonna say Gareth Bale scores the winning penalty. That's what I'm putting. I think you're right. I think City will have a lot of possession.
You taking up comedian stuff, have you there now?
No. I'm all good. I'm all good. I've just a sneaky feeling about Spurs this time. I just think this is an opportunity that's come along. I think the squad will be, rejuvenated in terms of there'll be a bonding of it coming together. I think a lot of those players were happy to see Mourinho go. I know your reservations on Ryan being in charge and stuff like that, but as I said to you, I don't think those players need direction from him. I think they will know what to do. They know what's on the line. They know they're creating history, albeit the League Cup, but still it's huge.
Let's be honest about it, any professional footballer should know what to do when they get onto that pitch anyway. The manager gives them what he wants out of them, but they still should know what to do. They're getting paid well enough to know what they have to do.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan will be walking in there tomorrow and he'll go, guys, you know what you need to do here. You know what's on the line. Here's the team. The team more or less in terms nearly picks itself. You know what I mean? He's not going to go out there tomorrow and pick some team that we haven't seen before or lads that haven't played together and stuff like that. And again, it's whether, if Harry Kane shows up on his day and plays the way he can play with Son, I think you have a great opportunity.
I hope so.
But I just love the excitement of penalties. So I just think it's a game that could potentially go to penalties. I think it'll be a score draw as well before going to penalties. I don't think it'll be a 0-0. I think there'll be goals in it. But yeah, definitely that's what I'm holding out for. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm the optimist. I can't be negative. There's no way I can be negative. You know what I mean? And I think with the amount of talent that'll be on that pitch tomorrow, surely to God there's going to be goals in the game. And surely to God Bale will want to lay down a marker. He'll want to go down in history, bringing silverware back. Kane will want to do it. Son will want to do it. They'll know what's on the line. They'll give it a go. And I think it'll be more competitive than what people think. I don't think Spurs are showing up just to make up the numbers. And I'm playing on them right now. I could look real stupid now come Monday. I hope not. Maybe I should be wearing the Spurs jersey, should I?
Yeah.
Tell you. Well, listen.
Pleasure
as always.
Go ahead.
That's it. Keep the faith. I'll be ringing you tomorrow. I'll tell you if this happens, I'm going to be all over you tomorrow, man. Listen, absolute pleasure having you on. This has been Carabao Cup final preview. To Fergal, thanks for coming on. Spurs fan as always. Head over to YouTube, smash the subscribe and bell notification button. Dynamo Podcast Network, Anchor for audio versions of the show, and we shall chat to you again real soon.